We are Gold Ivy.
Our mission is to empower you to own and unleash your truth.
Stories of resiliency are gold, and ivy grows in hard places.
Those hard places are what creates space for light to shine through.
You decide what works for your daily life and how to transform our lessons into your gold.
This is Ivy Unleashed,
a Gold Ivy production.
Keeping the flu and common cold out of your household is important whether you're 5, 35, or 95, and we're going to tell you the easiest and most delicious way to do just that. It's with All Things Elderberry, a woman-owned business that has all-natural, vegan-friendly, and gluten-free elderberry products.
And when we say products, we mean a variety of delicious and beautiful products, not just for you, but for your entire household to get an immunity boost. If we had to pick our favorite product, I'm going with organic elderberry gummies. My kids are obsessed. We're trying to avoid sickness from school and make sure they can participate in their sports. So they take one every morning before they brush their teeth. They think the gummies taste like a mix of grape and cotton candy. I tried them too, and I can see why they ask for them every day. I love that they're boosting their immune system at the start of their day.
My favorite All Things Elderberry product is the elderberry green tea paired with the elderberry honey. The green tea gives me a midday boost, and the honey gives the tea extra sweetness. I also put the honey in my morning coffee instead of creamer. So good. All Things Elderberry is my solution for staying healthy before traveling, avoiding frequent colds and sinus infections, really just maintaining my health all year round.
What sets this brand apart from the others is there are no artificial additives in All Things Elderberry. Their elixir is made with organic, Missouri-grown elderberries, raw honey, and whole spices.
Elderberries not only help with immune support, but may also slow the aging process with their powerful antioxidants, improve skin health, and can shorten the duration of severity of colds and flu.
Visit allthingselderberry.com to explore their full range of immune-supporting products. Stay healthy and feel your best naturally. Use our code GOLDIVY at checkout for 15% off your first order. That's code GOLDIVY at checkout for 15% off your first order. The number one mistake people make when aiming to get healthier is counting calories in general. If you're trying to lose weight, boost your metabolism, gain energy, improve your hair, skin, and nails, and boost your confidence, protein is key. And if you've been listening for a while, you know I, Andrea, have been working on balancing my hormones and eating better. And by eating better, I mean planning out my meals and actually paying attention to protein. I'm finally doing it. And because I feel the best I've ever felt, I created for you what I wish I had so you can replicate my practices in your daily life. Now, in our Gold Ivy shop, you can grab the Maximize Your Metabolism with Gold Ivy guide for $10. Included in your Maximize Your Metabolism with Gold Ivy guide are weekly workout guidelines and a workout plan. So you'll gain muscle that will burn more calories. There's a daily protein requirement calculation, so you actually know how many grams to aim for, and an ideal day of protein-packed meals. There's a protein powerhouse grocery list with the grams of each item listed, so shopping is way easier for you. There's tangible stress management tips because we all need those. And there's linked protein-packed recipes that you have to try. I put together this guide that's full of tips, tracking, and ideas so that you don't have to. We can't avoid or ignore the fact that protein is going to help us feel our best, improve our body composition, and help balance out our hormones any longer. Grab the Maximize Your Metabolism with Gold Ivy guide as soon as you have a moment at goldivyhealthco.com/shop, and finally have access to the tools that will boost that metabolism. And now to this episode of the Ivy Unleashed podcast.
Welcome back to the Ivy Unleashed podcast. You are in for a treat today. All my sober girlies, let's just take a minute. Give it up for them.
Hey.
We got a 6-month sober girly in the house.
Hey.
How's it feeling?
God, good. Full. I use that word like I just posted a TikTok/reel about 6 months in. Lots of comments, lots of text messages after that, lots of questions. And I've learned a lot about how different people have very different experiences with alcohol. And we love talking about it. We've had a lot of episodes about this. And we want to dive into it because it is such a huge part of life to lean on substances And it affects our relationships, our emotional well-being. It affects our energy. It affects our self-esteem. It affects the depth to which we are able to experience life. I could talk about this a long time. I mean, 6 months of, a change that I have seen a lot and learned a lot.
An experiment, right? Of let me just say no and see what life is like, what changes, what surprises you, what have you been able to do? What have you been able to say yes to by saying no to alcohol? And that's what we want to get in today, is that what is our experience with it? Because you might be listening, you might be sober, you might say, absolutely not, I'm not giving up alcohol. But something in you might be a little curious as to what was their experience like? Mm-hmm. And if it's something that you are being nudged to take a break from, hearing our story of what has helped us, I think in my experience has provided hope when I hear other people's experience of, okay, if they have that much fullness, love, energy, what could that be like for me?
Mm-hmm. And I think something people are also very curious about is why. Did you have a problem? Did you get a DUI?
Are you pregnant?
Did something happen? Yes. And
yes, you got a DUI and are pregnant.
No, yes. I just think people are so curious to know like the big why. Yeah. And if you're new to tuning in, or like this is the first time you've heard me specifically talk about this, I've been experimenting with this for a very long time. Yeah. I would have like these deep lows after like a night of drinking where I would be so hard on myself or really anxious. I would have like heart palpitations. I would just like feel bad knowing like I'm waking up with 3 kids in my house that I don't have the energy, patience, like care. Like you just care less about everything when you feel so low, because you don't have the capacity to like be energetic and vibrant with them. And so for years now, I've been like, oh, I didn't drink for April, or I did 75 hard, which is 75 days of not drinking. And I love what you said, where it's like a mindset shift if you do want to try this of like, do I know what it would be like to not drink for 6 months? Like months, what would that bring me? Mm-hmm. And have I allowed myself to like try not drinking it for a month, even just to see what feelings come up? Because they're not all bad. It's not, like I think with 75 hard, I kept like resisting it because I'm like, I want the option to have a drink. Like, I don't want to do this for 75 days.
Yeah. And like the can't have is hard, and it feels icky. It feels restrictive. And I think going through those challenges, it's both taught us that like, we want this to be a choice and not it's forced, because that feels a lot freer. Mm-hmm. And I also think like I've never met someone who's gone sober and that's regretted it. Like I've never met anyone that's like, oh, damn, like that was a terrible decision.
I also think like the word freer, like for me, for a while, my mindset was I want to feel free to do what I want and have the choice to drink. I feel freer knowing it's not even a choice I have to make anymore.
There doesn't have to be the internal debate.
Yes, because that to me is freedom. The fact that it's not even on the table is freedom. Mm-hmm. It's not forced, I can't have anymore. That's just like a mindset shift that I had to go through. And I really think the Naked Mind book helps me with that. That book is phenomenal. But I think I kept thinking, I don't like being told what to do. I don't like a hard no. And that's why I never did 75 hard, because now it's not just about drinking. It was like just having these rules, But freedom comes from that, because my mind was so trapped thinking like, oh, I got invited to go to this. Should I bring a drink? Should I not bring a drink? Do I have to drive later? Okay, are my kids going to be there? Okay, what time is this going to go to? What do I have going on tomorrow? It's like there was so much to think about on top of building a business and wanting my mornings to myself as a mom. Like that alcohol just took away from me, and it stripped me of so much, like you said, internal dialogue that could be focused on something else besides a substance.
Yeah. It's like the amount of energy you give it. And then not only the night before or the decision to drink, it's the after. It's the anxiety that comes from being hungover, the shaming of like, you didn't want to, why did you do it? Like depicting and trying to rationalize your choice. It's exhausting. That cutting out that decision making and just having it be like a hard line, I found works very well for me, because when you think about what it is supposed to be addicting, and it turns your brain off. So even if you think logically, okay, I'm only going to have one, the likelihood of you being able to stick to one, like after reading this book, what you know it does to your brain, it's like, it is very hard, and it's designed that way. Mm-hmm. So like, even if you have good intentions going in, by your second drink, you're like, F it, who cares? This feels really good. I'm going to keep going. It's like the power that it has over you, like it's been designed that way. And so to not even let that enter your bloodstream and the amount of, I was talking to a girlfriend when I was home this weekend, the amount of time it takes for it to fully get out of your body, it's like one little sip has you start all the way over, and then you're cleansing it out of your body. Yeah. There's just a lot, I think for both of us, a lot of chatter, and those listening who have gone sober before or just choose to not drink, like they can relate to that. And it is so freeing, because then it, in a way, it opens up this idea of like, okay, if I wasn't numbing my senses, like what do I want to be doing? I went to they had ice bowling in Sheboygan this weekend, and they had a live band. And I'm like, I am loving my life. Like I want to go out, but I want to go out for an activity. Like I don't want to go out just sitting at the bar. I want good conversation. It like almost shines more light on how do you want to be spending your time, and like what do you actually enjoy? Because alcohol just kind of makes you enjoy everything, because you put up with things, you tolerate things. When I'm like, I'm not having fun, like bed is fun. Being in bed at 8:00 brings me so much joy, and I'm sick of having to justify that. Yeah. Like, why aren't you drinking? Why aren't you doing cocaine? Like, why does it matter? I just think I'm like in this point in my life where I'm like, who cares if I don't want to drink alcohol? Why does it affect you so much?
That's what we have to talk about, because people get this rise of defensiveness of like, but you're going to eventually drink, right? Or you're eventually going to be able to have like one, right? Or you're eventually like there's this like, it like is almost this big wall that comes up that they're like protecting alcohol, protecting it. Maybe it's in their life of like,
and justifying extra why they drink.
Yeah. Or like they want you to have a problem with it, because then it's like, okay, that's why she's not drinking.
Well, I don't have a problem, so I'm fine.
So I don't have to give it up. I don't have to like try.
And also like, you don't have to give it up. I think when we both first started like playing with being sober, there's this of like, oh, like I wish everyone else around me could be sober. It'd be a lot easier. Or I don't want them to drink. And now, yes, the people closest to me, I'm like, okay, the health effects, like I want you around. But other people, I'm like, I don't give a shit what you do. Like I'm only doing this for me, and this is what's best for me. And like, can you respect that?
Yeah, and I feel like how we're talking, it's very much evolved, because we've experimented so much. Yeah. Because if you've never experienced with this, the first couple times, and this is like, who I'm speaking about is someone that regularly drinks. Because a lot of people are like, I don't even drink every week. You know, this probably does not apply to you. But, maybe think of like your most uncomfortable situation, or like a place where you do regularly, like, you know what, usually when I do that, I drink. No, I'm at a wedding, I usually drink. Or, whatever. And it's like, have you thought about why you're grabbing it? Because when you give it up and you have this experiment of like, let's just see what it's like, you notice things. You notice things. You notice how you feel. You notice who talks to you about it. You notice who tries to force you to drink. You notice, okay, in this moment, I really want to drink, because like I'm sitting at a table with a lot of people I don't really know. And it would just be nice to like numb a little bit, take the edge off. And in this 6 months for me, it hasn't been a lot of like really wanting to drink, because I've experimented so much. So I just want that caveat of like, I've really reflected on this. I've really tried it. I've been on vacation without drinking, and that is like weird. Like for me and my personality and my history with alcohol, what I would normally do would be like, I'd like once a week have like a girls' night where I'm like bowling on a Tuesday, or have a book club, or like something social, usually at least once a week. And what I would normally do is I would bring like a 6-pack of beer or a bottle of wine, and I would have somewhere between 3 to 6 drinks, I would say, on a regular basis. And then if it was like a crazy like wedding, I could drink a lot. I could drink like, I would never drink and drive, but I'm just like giving like a background of like what it would look like for me. But I have a lot of friends that when they drink, it's an excess, and it's like, we're drinking, you know, and that's kind of the culture of a lot of people I know still. It almost resembles college. And so for me to not drink is very extreme. It is very polarizing. And when I first did this with 75 Hard, I had a lot of hurt feelings because I feel like it got quiet from friends, and I started to like really notice who was like still wanting time with me. And that's hard at first, but it hasn't been hard that much this 6 months because I kind of already knew that information from going through 75 Hard. So I just like,
it's like a shock to the system at first.
Yes.
But then the longer you go, it just becomes your identity. Like, it's just who you are. And when you don't have to justify or explain yourself, there's not, like, you're just not giving it energy. And so it doesn't have to be a big thing.
Yes.
It's like the idea of, okay, you just don't smoke anymore. Okay, good for you. Or for me, I'm like, it's just not what I do. And that's okay. And I'm not ruminating on it. I'm not thinking about it. But I think at first, when you take a break from it, it is such a shock that you have to think about, okay, who am I going to hang out with? And when I'm around those people, what am I going to do? When that feeling comes up, how am I going to let it pass? How am I going to deal with that when I know I'm in a social situation and I want it and it consumes me? What do you do in that situation? My biggest advice is just delay. The server comes up, asks you if you want a drink. You say, I'm okay now. Knowing like you can have it, just not right now. Because the longer I would delay, then it would get to the point where I'm like, okay, I don't even want it anymore. It's like a sugar craving. It comes up, you sit with it, and you just say, okay, just put it on pause. I'll deal with it later.
I'll do something. I'll distract myself for a second.
Go to the bathroom, take a few deep breaths, like have your go-to drink. Like there's so many ways you can go about it. But I think the more energy you give it, it just becomes harder to quote unquote tame.
Yes.
That it's like, have it be neutral. Like I would track in an app and that helped me for a while. But now it's like, I don't want it to be something where I'm like trying to chase a number. I want it to be just like, this is who I am. I just don't do this. And if I do decide to do it, okay, that's fine. But I'm not giving it any power.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think of it too, of like people that kind of identify as just like, they just don't drink. Like my sister-in-law, Alicia, your cousin-in-law, Alicia, she's just like kind of in the last decade just doesn't. So nobody gives it energy because she just never has. So it's that identity shift, right? You have been a person in someone's life and served a role or something. So like, even when I see it, I'm thinking of like my friend Abby. Normally when I would be with her, like she always has cool nails and drinks this cool red wine. And like, I just like, whenever I'm with her, I just like want to drink red wine. So I like associate that with her, which is just funny. She doesn't pressure me to drink or whatever. But what I notice is like the gifts that I found in this. Cause I think people want to hear too, like, why are you doing something hard? Like, what's the good that you've found in it or whatever? And so like another example with Abby is like, the gift is, she loves being around me no matter what. Like she doesn't care if I'm drinking red wine with her. She gives me a hug and talks to me about Beyonce no matter if I'm drinking red wine or not. And I think that's such a huge gift that you learn when you allow this experiment to take place, when you take a break from whatever the substance is that you're using to kind of be a buffer in your life for whatever reason. You get gifts. And for me, I'm such a relationship person, a friendship person. I evaluate my friendships, what I get from them, what I'm giving to them, because I think that's like the beauty of life is the richness of your relationships. And I've really like zoned into who things haven't changed when I've given up alcohol. And then I've poured more into those relationships, which it's such a gift because then you just weed out the ones that you realize don't really give a shit about you. You realize like, wow, they just wanted a drinking partner. They didn't want me. They didn't want time with me. They didn't want to still go for like sit and chat about something. They just wanted someone to like have drinks and numb out with them.
I think for me, and for you too, I know, I speak for both of us, the clarity. Like when you don't numb your senses, it gives you an insane amount of clarity on like, what needs to be in my life? What boundaries do I need to have for me to be obsessed with life, to not need to numb? And when I do have these feelings come up that I normally would numb, how do I self-regulate in a way that doesn't cause me anxiety, shame, and makes me feel like shit? Like moving your body. For me, it's sweating. For me, it's like having hard conversations. And at first it's difficult, but it's so worth it.
Who wants to know what I discovered that's an absolute game changer with my hormones, stress level, and quality of my sleep? I am not one to talk about supplements, but after learning all about magnesium, I have to fill you in. In May of last year, I tested my hormones and my doctor explained to me that most women are deficient in magnesium, how important magnesium is, and how the brand of magnesium matters. First, magnesium is involved in hundreds of biochemical reactions in your body. Cortisol regulation, take magnesium. Better sleep, magnesium. Muscle soreness and recovery, magnesium. Combat depression and anxiety, magnesium. The list of magnesium's benefits go well beyond those examples. I asked for the best brand of magnesium and my doctor said hands down, Smidge. She prefers Smidge because it's super clean and made in small batches. No fillers or common allergens, and non-GMO. Smidge's magnesium is made with a premium form of magnesium called glycinate complex. After taking the 100 milligram capsule of Smidge Evening Magnesium every night for just a week, I noticed how much better I felt in the morning. Melatonin and other sleep aids can make me groggy or give me weird dreams. Smidge's magnesium has improved my energy levels, reduced my anxiety, and my digestive health has never been better. I do my best to take it every single night to keep reaping all the benefits. I'm telling you, Smidge Magnesium is a game changer. The majority of adult women are deficient in magnesium, and we don't want you to be one of them. To experience the health benefits of Smidge Evening Magnesium as soon as possible, go to getsmidge.com or find the link in the show notes and be sure to use code GOLDIV10 for a 10% discount. That's getsmidge.com and code GOLDIV10 at checkout and let us know how great Smidge Magnesium makes you feel as well.
Hey everyone, Brooke here. One of my biggest goals for 2025 is to improve my energy, and I know I'm not alone in that. I also know I'm not alone in what I'm about to say next. Every morning when I wake up, the first thing I look forward to is my morning cup of coffee. What I don't look forward to is how much I rely on it to get me through the day and the stomach upset and crashes that come with it. I know it's hard on my hormones, energy, and stress levels, but man, is it a hard habit to break. Can anyone else relate? I want quick and easy, and I want energy. Saying goodbye completely to caffeine is out of the question for me, but trying it in a new way, that I'm open to. So let me tell you about my new obsession, Everyday Dose. Would you believe me if I told you my new morning cup of energy includes the following, and all in one simple scoop? We've got L-theanine, an amino acid that works to increase focus, balance insulin levels, metabolism, and lower stress and cortisol. We've got low acidity coffee extract, finally coffee that doesn't give me a stomach ache. Collagen protein to improve my gut health, skin, and nails. Chaga, a type of mushroom that supports immune system. And my favorite, Lion's Mane, a natural nootropic that helps reduce brain fog and boost my mood. In addition to it being the easiest and most effective morning routine, it's free of artificial sweeteners, additives, mycotoxins, and mold. I feel at ease knowing what's going in my body, all while feeling energized, calm, and focused all day. Check out their coffee starter kit. It comes with free gifts every month like a frother, gunmetal spoon, breathwork app, and more. Join Andrea and myself as we start our year and all 365 days with Everyday Dose. Visit everydaydose.com/goldivy and get your coffee starter kit delivered straight to your door. Use our code GOLDIVY to get up to 30% off your first order.
You've experimented with this a lot in your 20s, so I'm curious what that's been like for you socially to experiment with this when, like, such a time when most people are drinking a lot.
Yeah, it's hard, especially like right out of college when you're still drinking heavily. You don't have kids. Yes, you have an adult job, but it's still very normal to party on the weekends, to binge drink, and you lose a lot of relationships. And I think at first that was really, really hard for me to grapple with of, like, do I have any friends? Or like, what is my identity? Who am I? And it got very clear that I wasn't drinking to have fun. I was drinking to numb pain. And that awareness is enough for me to be like, okay, this is an issue. A lot of personal development, a lot of reflection, getting really clear on, okay, why, if this is causing me so much pain? Why do I feel the need to keep doing it? And the longer I would go without it, the more I would realize the story that I'm telling myself of what I'm missing, I would then cave in and drink, and it wasn't that experience at all. It wasn't fun like I remembered it. I wasn't the life of the party. I was immediately having a headache. Like I'd be hungover before I'd even stop drinking. Like instant headache, instant feeling of like, I shouldn't have done that, but all right, I'm already here. Let's keep going. Like you're chasing the high. And I just realized how unfulfilling it was. And I think with anything, like you give it space and then you give your body time to be okay without it. And then you re-enter it. And it's like, you're just putting poison back in your body. Your body's gotten used to it not being in there, that the effects of it are so much more aggressive, if that makes sense. Like I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel good. So it was a lot of, okay, I'm going to take a break. Okay, I'm going to play with it. I'm going to take a break, play with it. And looking back, like I had to go through those experiences.
Yeah.
I had to figure out on my own, okay, this wasn't serving me, and be okay with taking a break from relationships, saying, okay, like that friendship served a season and I'm really grateful for it. And we're not as close and that's okay. Like nothing on me, nothing on them. It is amazing the friendships that stick and why they stick. And it makes me really, really grateful for those relationships. And I think what I realized is I was telling myself, if I don't drink, we can't be friends, because I was feeling insecure about being the one that wasn't drinking in the group. Like I'm a lot more secure now in my decision to not drink, where at the time I felt like the outsider. Like it's a human need to belong. And this one thing that connected us and we shared so many memories with, like without it, we still had those memories. So it's as much of a physical experiment as a mental and a psychological, I think. Mm-hmm. But I mean, anyone listening, like that's given it up, you have had that experience. And I'm really grateful for the relationships that have stayed. Mm-hmm. And now being more secure in myself, my decisions, like those relationships are so fulfilling. And they like, even just being home around people that don't drink or people that do drink, like I'm out at the bar and I'm still having great conversations and I'm leaving like, okay, I remember having that conversation. Mm-hmm. I remember how it felt to be excited to be together, and like everything just has a lot more weight in a good way.
Yes.
Like the negative feelings and the positive feelings. And when I can move through those negative feelings without a substance, I'm very proud of myself.
Yes. Well, and I think of another human need is growth, right? Like we want to feel like we're becoming a better person. Our relationships are getting better. We're getting stronger. Like we're not declining in any way. And with alcohol, I kept feeling like I would take 3 steps forward with a relationship, or me feeling like I wasn't oversharing, or I wasn't like whatever I was working on at the time, or I'm moving. You know, I did therapy for a relationship, and then I get some alcohol in my system, and then I'm like gossiping about it or complaining about it. Or I start oversharing something that I was like, I really just don't need to share everything, because that's just like a tendency of mine. Or, you know, in business, I would like be crushing it. And by the way, since I've stopped drinking, our business has done so much better. And I'm not saying it's just
Thank
me,
you.
but my part, right? Yeah. My part of the things I've been wanting to work on in business have gotten so much better. And I just think for me, like as a mom, the things I'm working on, like if I want to keep growing, like for me, I was taking a few steps forward and it would just like take them back after the weekend. You know, it was like just restarting. It was like on this hamster wheel of like the things I wanted to work on just took so much longer to grow, excel, move forward, make progress, like whatever the word is that like works for you in whatever you're trying to do, it will like excel exponentially if you are being authentic, if you're understanding who you are, if you're moving through hard things for the second. Like drinking such an impulsive thing. Like you said, the delaying is like, even if you're going to drink that night, maybe just like for the first hour, don't, or like some way to be yourself, even if it's uncomfortable for an extra hour, because it does alter you. It alters how you speak, how you think, how quick your reaction time is. your ability to hear people, your ability to be empathetic. Like as a human being, when you put a substance in your body, you are altering yourself. And I know some people think, oh, I can really be myself when I drink because whatever. It's like, well, why do you feel like you can't show up as yourself without it? What's holding you back from saying how you feel without the alcohol? Like, what is that?
Yeah.
And it's okay to admit it's a fault or it's a thing you're working on. Like, that's the beauty. That's what connects you to people, is to be like, this is something I'm really working on.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we just don't allow ourselves the space to face what it is that makes us uncomfortable or feels like we can't show up fully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would say without alcohol, I like myself more and I like life more. Like the clearest answer is I don't like who I am when I drink, and I don't like life. Like I don't like my life when I'm laying in bed hungover and I'm debating every decision that I made. It's like life is just better without alcohol. And to someone who doesn't think they have a problem with alcohol, doesn't see an issue, like I'm not trying to change your mind. Trying to force someone to change, like that's never going to work.
Nope.
If you're curious about taking a break from alcohol, surrounding yourself with people who don't drink, I think is one of the best things you can do, and leaning on those resources, but wanting to change for you and not convincing everyone else around you to change. Because
Yes.
I do think that is pointless. I think me saying like, I really think you should take a break, or do you know what that's doing to you? Like knowing that you taking a break is making everyone around you question their decision. And it's also giving them permission to take a break too. So it's like your actions speak wonders.
Yes.
And focus on your experience with it. And know that like by you taking a break, you're having a positive effect on everyone around you. And I think let that be enough. Because the more you try and argue and convince and change, it causes a lot of inner turmoil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I think
such a good point.
I've gotten so secure on like, you do you, and I'm not trying to change you, but I know that by me not drinking, it's making you drink less. Like for the people around me, for example, or it's forcing you to ask me questions about business or important things, you know, not around, like we're not just talking about alcohol.
Yeah.
We're having deeper conversations.
That's such a great, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I think people think that's what we're thinking about them, because they think us not drinking reflects something about them, and it doesn't.
Yeah. Like I'm not thinking about you at all.
And if I thought you had a problem, I would tell you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if I love you and I actually do think you have a problem with alcohol, I would bring it up.
Yeah.
Because I love you. I'm doing this because I wasn't okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling like my best self. And it wasn't like 7 days a week, but 1 day a week of it is enough, because that's 1/7 of my life. And then I would like have less energy.
But it's not just that day. Exactly. It's the days after, and it's the starting Monday off, and it's the Sunday scaries. Like I have Sunday scaries a little, but not to the level I used to be.
Yeah.
And I've put things in place that like actually make me feel good. I think it has been such a gift to us that we feel the need to share it, because it is so socially acceptable, and it isn't the norm. And like we are so going against the norm, and people want to know why, to your point. And like the why is because it makes us feel really effing good. And we want that for you too.
Yeah. And for parents out there, I know like it's kind of sticky when you hear like, you know, I'm talking a lot about my kids, and I never want any parents to feel judged, because a lot of people, you know, they have their own, everybody has their own relationship with alcohol. But for me, when I reflect on my situation, like I want you to hear that this is for my home and in my experience. Like I'm not saying you're a bad parent if you drink at all. You know, lots of parents model really healthy behaviors with alcohol. However you want to do it. I always like to say, for me, for my household, you know, these are pivotal times in my kid's life. They're little. Like every psychologist we have on is like, well, between 4 and 7, you're like, you know. So I'm always like freaking out. Like I know if I drink alcohol, I am less present. I am less patient. I'm less compassionate. I want to go take a nap. I want to go to bed earlier. I'm done with whatever they're doing, because they're children and they just feel all their feelings all the time and express them. And so I wanted to just say that too, because I don't want anybody to think like for their household, I am judging you. I am not. When you hear a parent say stuff about their home. I just know it really like hits you hard and makes you feel bad when you're like, oh, some mom is improving something in their house. I should probably do that too. And that is not what I'm saying. I'm saying reflect on how you feel. Reflect on what it's doing to you. Reflect on your friendships. If you were to remove alcohol, would they still be there? Experiment with it. Just try it, and just to give yourself an opportunity to see what is it that I'm like needing a buffer for, and how can I maybe move through this in a different way that isn't bad for my body? Because we haven't even talked about that with alcohol. It is not good for your mental health and your physical health. It is truly something that is creating cancer, and it scares people, and it's something we don't talk about because we don't want to offend alcohol. Like we don't, but like the truth is, the fact is, it is ethanol. Part of it's ethanol going into your body and killing cells and giving you risks with your brain and giving you risks with your body. If you are to get cancer, you will be told not to drink it. And so it's just something to think about. Like physically, I will be in a healthier spot if I drink it less. And so that's my only thing to say. Like, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying, like, as health coaches and like with scientific facts, there are health concerns.
And people know that. Like, this is not your first time hearing that.
But they'll be like, oh, but I heard that one glass of wine a day is good for you.
No, it's not. And Andrea and I are sharing our experience, but we also know that other people can relate.
Yeah.
Right? You feel better without it. It might make your life easier in the moment, but long term, it makes life a lot harder. And I think life is hard enough. And then I'm going to add this in that, like, for maybe a high of 15 minutes before then the buzz wears off and you need another drink to like kick it again. You're just like in this hamster wheel, like you said, and you're just chasing this cycle that just like you're in this loop and you can't get out unless you just take a clean break from it. And the longer you go without it, just the more clarity, everything is just richer around you.
I'm so proud of you that you did this in your 20s.
Yeah, hell yeah, let's go.
And I'm proud of myself for giving it a shot, because I think we're living in our truth and we're experiencing a raw human experience, because in my belief system, we have one of these, and I'm happy to have this experience. And I do want to give my dad a shout out. My dad has drank alcohol, and, I'm not going to talk too much about like how much he's drank or how long he's drank or whatever. But the fact that my dad hasn't drank alcohol, probably by the time this airs, 6 months as well, I'm so proud of him. And it's almost unbelievable to anybody that I tell that he's also not been drinking. He's like 45 days behind me or something, that he feels the best he's ever felt. And he's so excited, and he's so like in tune with being around for his grandkids and his health. And I'm just like, for the people that it might be really hard to think about giving up alcohol, like it is possible. And I'm just so proud of him too. I just wanted to give him a little shout out.
Yeah.
Proud of you,
it's
Dad.
not easy. And so therefore you have to celebrate. Like, we're doing something that isn't easy and it's really good for us. And so we have to take the time to acknowledge and to celebrate. So for you, if you're sober, if you're playing with it, we want to celebrate you. Like, drop it in the comments. Let us know, because we want to make this the norm. Like, can we make feeling good and not numbing our senses and doing things that actually make us feel good, that we don't have to run from the norm?
One caveat to that, I do think it's pretty easy. Like, the longer you go, like for me.
But in society, it's not the easy thing to do.
Right. Because it's like impulsively, it's like it's available and whatever. I'm just saying, like, there's hope. It gets way easier.
Yes.
It's so much easier. Like, I walk in and I'm like, I don't even want to.
Yes.
Like, I never thought I would get to that point, because I'm like, I love beer. But it is easy for me now. So I just want to say, because like, I do think it gets easier.
It's about your mindset.
Yeah.
And it definitely gets easier because you start feeling better and you're like, why would I want to make myself not feel good?
It's like exercise. It's like, you got to give it a shot. It is hard at first if you haven't exercised in a while, but over time they're like, oh, this feels so good. I want to run now. And you never think you're going to get to that point unless you allow yourself to try to get to that point.
Yeah.
So
like, how good could you feel? When you think about what's holding you back, maybe it is alcohol. Maybe it's something else, but just know that you were put on this earth to feel good, to feel your feelings, to feel emotions. A little discomfort is okay. Doesn't mean you have to numb it, but there is help. There is hope. There are other people that are doing it that want to support you. And so if you're listening, you want to give it Give it a shot. Know that we're rooting for you.
Give us a shout out, like Gold Ivy, or send us a message. Like, we will cheer you on. Or if you want a health coach to like have some accountability, like month to month, we are always taking clients until we're not. So right now we are. So message us. We'll at least celebrate you or let you know, if we're available for coaching. But I think sometimes you really need that support, and we are definitely here for you and rooting for you and rooting for each other.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Proud of you. And, not to be cheesy, but I'm going to be cheesy. I think piece of gold today, and my quote is just being sober rocks.
Oh, I love it. This is Gold Ivy signing off.
Listen to your truth and go chase your gold. We want to thank you and encourage you to celebrate yourself for taking the time to learn and get inspired in your one beautiful life. And if this podcast means something to you, it would mean so much to us if you'd be willing to take 30 seconds to help support our mission to keep bringing you inspiring stories and guests.
First, following the podcast is important because it helps you never miss an episode. To do this, just go to the Ivy Unleashed podcast show page on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and then just tap the plus sign in the upper right-hand corner or click on follow.
While you're there, if you'd be so kind to give us a 5-star rating and review and share your favorite episode with a friend, we'd be so grateful for your support.
We are thrilled you're here and are so happy that you're taking time to prioritize your wellness, self-discovery, and growth with us. Additionally, we want to remind you that this podcast is presented solely for educational and entertainment purposes. We are not licensed therapists, and this podcast is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professionals.